Hey man, how are you? What am I reading? Oh, I'm just reading the Destroy All Humans instruction manual for the PS2. This thing tells me everything I need to know about the game. Hey, what's up, bro? What am I reading? Oh, I'm just reading the DLC code that came with my copy of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero because this game didn't come with an instruction manual. Can you believe that? If you guys are like me, you also feel like video games are missing a little something something, you would be correct. Most days when you open up a case these days, you're greeted with the disc and you get something like this or nothing at all. I have with me here some of my old PS2 games with the manuals included. So we're gonna open these, take a look, and see what these manuals are all about. So let's get into it, shall we? So instead of spending the whole video reading these manuals, because that's boring as shit, I'm going to spend this video talking about the importance of manuals and how they were an extension of the gaming experience as a whole. The experience starts before you even get home, before you even put the disc in the console for the first time. It starts as soon as you open the box and you look at that manual for the first time. The thing that I always remember, and that I still love to this day, is that new game smell when you open up a case for the first time. You just don't get that with digital games these days, so that's why I don't buy digital. That's why I'm continuing to buy physical all these years later. Picture this. Smartphones don't exist. Internet access is extremely limited, and you need to find something out about a video game that you're playing. You only have a few options. You could ask somebody you knew in real life to help you out with the game, purchase a strategy guide, or look at the instruction manual. These instruction manuals were essentially your lifeline. If you didn't read this and understand this and know how to play the game you were playing, you were not getting anywhere in that game at all. I don't know about any of you guys, but I play a game called RuneScape, and my account is just about 20 years old. For those of you that don't know, RuneScape is an MMORPG that has an insanely massive world with countless things to do. To 7-year-old me, that was the most overwhelming thing in the world. I did have internet access, sure, but I was 7 years old and I didn't have the brain capacity to look things up when I needed help, or to go on the RuneScape wiki or whatever website it was at the time. So what did I do? I bought this bad boy at my 2nd grade book fair. This was the official RuneScape handbook, so at the time it included just about everything that you needed to know about the early game. It was essentially an encyclopedia for the early game of RuneScape, from account creation up until the infamous Dragon Slayer quest, which is when the game actually starts. So if you know, you know. So here's a quick look at the manual for Viewtiful Joe 2. This game was themed to be like a film, and that's reflected in this manual. As you can see, the protagonists, Joe and Sylvia, are called heroes as opposed to main characters or protagonists, while the enemies are appropriately named villains. Joe and Sylvia also have what the game calls a VFX power, which are exactly like effects seen in movies, such as slow motion, fast motion, zoom, replay, and more. You gotta play the game to find out. The thing with these instruction manuals is that they weren't just something included as an afterthought. Creation of the manuals wasn't just a one-person job. Companies had entire teams working on manuals, from illustration to writing and publishing. You could see the amount of detail and thought that went into some of these manuals. The intention of them isn't just to educate you on how to play the game, it's to immerse you in the in-game universe, to make you feel like you're actually in the in-game universe. So now let's take a look at GTA Vice City. That is one of the most beautiful manuals I've ever seen. Every page in here is pink and teal, has Miami vibes, and it's designed to be a tourist guide to Vice City. In Rockstar's eyes, you aren't just a person playing GTA Vice City, you're a person going on a trip to Vice City, and you're experiencing everything that that fictional city has to offer. Just take a look at these pages. You have entire lists of every area of interest in the game that you could think of, from nightclubs to clothing stores to hotels. The list goes on and on. My favorite thing about Rockstar's manuals, specifically the Grand Theft Auto manuals, is that they include the names of every song on the radio stations, as if you're reading a concert set list. Each radio station has its own little section for every song that plays on that radio station. And GTA influenced my music taste. I listened to a lot of music that was on the GTA radio stations. And here we have an ad for Midnight Club 2, Another fantastic Rockstar game. I have this disc. I unfortunately do not have the manual, though, otherwise we would have been looking at that one too. Lastly, I would like to do a comparison between two games from the same franchise, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Quickly going through the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 manual, we see that every page has an illustration of a Dragon Ball character with an in-depth explanation of each game mode and all the controls, everything you need to know to play the game at a proficient level. Compare that to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which is basically Budokai Tenkaichi 4, came with no manual, and only got the code for the Ultimate Edition DLC. These two games are 17 years apart, and I honestly didn't realize how much sadder a PS5 game looks compared to a PS2 game in the case. For whatever reason, companies decided to move from making visually appealing and detailed game manuals to a much more boring and corporate aesthetic. I think this is a bad business practice because in the first place, people see the cover art and read the manual before they even play the game for the first time, and those need to be something that grabs people's attention. To be fair though, times have changed. We've evolved from these manuals to much larger in-game tutorials which frankly do a better job at teaching players how to play the game. But there was something about sitting down and reading a video game instruction manual that just felt right. Maybe we didn't realize it all those years ago when we were kids, but those manuals were part of what made gaming feel alive.